Well, I gotta make sure. Let me see. Let's get him in a picture. Okay, get you in there. Are we back? Remove. Okay. Let's get that guy out of there. All right, we're live now. Let's go. We're starting to go back into it. Let's go. We live. Let's go, y'all. Gary, could you set the camera a little bit because Roy is out of frame? There you go.
We're good.
Thank you. That's better. We're back in the afternoon. OSG Leadership, Transformational Leadership. The conference is here. Oh man, it's crazy, boy. Man, listen. If you're here today, right now, if you can tell, I'm a little bit. Dr. D Nice Bojan. Well, you know what, Dr. D Nice. It's great that you're on today. It's funny, divine timing, we'll call this, because I'm here with Pioneer Medical Research, and we're here talking about medicine and talking about research and things of that nature. So I think it's important we have an actual medical doctor here. And listen, Dr. D Nice, stay by your phone if you're not too busy. I'd love to give you a call and bring you into this conversation. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves and tell us what you do.
Hi, so I'm Dr. Neelam Mehta, one of the members of Pioneer Clinical Research New York. We, primarily do medical research, paving the way of the future of medicine and new developments.
I'm Dr. Raul Renteria. I'm also part of Pioneer Clinical Research.
Okay, so we know that Pioneer Clinical Research, why is it important?
One of the main things is we're bringing free healthcare to places that are very underserved. A lot of people have some people have specific diseases that aren't well taken care of. Some people have exage organs, some skin disorders, some lung disorders, and number one, sometimes Medicare doesn't pay for them. Number two, they don't have money to pay for the medications. And so with some pharmaceutical companies, they offer the opportunity to get free health care to get their conditions taken care of, which is good for the community and for all of us.
Medicine gets a bad stigma sometimes. I hear a lot of people go, I ain't taking that pill. There's some reasons, like the Tuskegee situation. There are a lot of reasons why people are afraid of medicine. Why shouldn't we be afraid? Why should we embrace new medical research and developments?
So I always like to bring up the classic case of COVID vaccine. Fastest known vaccine ever made in man. We do vaccine studies as well. As we know, flu seasons every September to December.
Yeah.
Every 2-3 years, they change the strain, this and that. There needs to be a new formulation of the flu vaccine.
Yeah.
Without that advancement or changing the strength and the of how the bacterias and the viruses of the flu are changing over time, you'd have a lot more prevalence, a lot more death, a lot more hospitalizations from something simple as the flu, right? No one likes to get the flu, and it's a part of medicine. That's free, which is a good thing. The pharmaceuticals give that service to anyone who wants it for free. And in fact, they actually compensate people monetarily for their time. Say, if you want to go to the doctor, help us make some new medications moving in the future for whatever condition or vaccines or whatever it is, they actually offer them a stipend. Say, help us out. We thank you. We'll give you a little bit of, and all the medical care that we do is totally free. All the blood work, all the, feedback and everything. We have a great team of 20, 30 doctors in New York that we work with. And, we're hoping to build that up.
Let me ask you, is COVID gone? Is it over?
It's kind of tapering down. It's not gone totally. I think the people who are probably getting it nowadays are probably the ones that are unvaccinated.
Mean, when I say gone, have we been now, since it's been here and it sort of came through heavy? Are we over the fear of a COVID pandemic now? Has it been bred into our system now?
I still think the fear is probably out there, just because again, it's like any of the viruses that they can change over time. You've heard from COVID, and then there was a different variant of COVID.
Yeah.
So down the road, it still exists. There's still people that have it. So somehow, if it transforms and becomes more virulent, and all of a sudden that strain causes another, spike in the number of cases, it's totally possible. No one knows that. No one can predict the future, right? It's
Dan
happened
Brown,
to us
good,
twice
good
now,
to see
right?
you, Dan
Three
Brown.
times,
If you
maybe
have
even.
questions, put them in the chat. Dan Brown, good to see you. Dr. D Nice Beaujolin, also DJ Supreme. Good to see you, Premium Lima. Listen, so, when we're in our community, especially Latino, African American community, and mostly these are underserved communities in the country.
Mhm.
Health is a big part of our problems. Diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease. What is coming on the horizon to give us some relief from these things that are knocking down families? What can we do? What's coming?
Further advancements, further like new medications. They're always, every pharmaceutical around the world is trying to get all the scientists together, trying to develop new medications, things we haven't heard of, and things we learned in medical school a long time ago. They're inventing new things and new ways that these molecules are helping our system fight off these diseases that we didn't even know about. We're learning it for the first time again. So it's like every time pharmaceutical approaches us with a project and they show us and teach us how this medication works, it's like there's no other medication in the world like it. It's like brand new. They just have to test it. They have to see if it works, how it can decrease, control people's diseases like diabetes or high blood pressure, cholesterol, whatever it may be.
Planet Plainfield. Hey, what's up, Planet Plainfield? It says, 2 people who got COVID after getting those vaccines. My mom was one of them. Are you saying when you get the vaccines, you can still get COVID? Right?
Yes.
It's still possible. Yes.
Yeah, and it's just what explain it. The vaccines are supposed to make it your body able to fight it off. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So the vaccine is usually what they do is it is kind of putting COVID into your system, or a variant of it that's not gonna cause COVID symptoms.
Yeah.
But it's meant to stimulate your body to produce antibodies. What they call antibodies, the protective barrier against COVID. So once you have those antibodies built up in your body and you get exposed to COVID, your body already recognizes, I just got exposed to COVID. I can fight it out without even knowing. So we can be exposed to COVID every day, but because we're vaccinated, our body's like, it's nothing, right? There's bacteria and viruses all over the place. Every surface you touch, but we have enough built up antibodies with flu vaccines and COVID vaccines that our body doesn't recognize.
Would you say this society today is getting older? I lost my father at 57, my grandmother at 55. I had uncles that lived into their 90s, but for the most part, this society, 55, is you're not gone yet. You're mentally, you're moving, your mind is going, but your body is now breaking down, and new medications are trying to sustain. Should we be getting this old? That's the question. Should we?
Well, we should be living longer.
Really?
Yeah. Right now we have so many advancements. I did a fellowship with A4M with anti-aging and regenerative medicine.
Yes.
And one of the main things is your diet. It's like in the Mexican population, and I know in the Black population too. We love cooking with lard.
Yeah.
Everything is not fried. It's not food. It's like, we gotta limit those foods and start eating more fruits and vegetables, which are good for us.
Right.
One of the main things is I used to run the Diabetes Metabolic Institute in South Texas, and the first thing is we gotta learn how to eat. It's like if you go to buy a soda, look at how many grams of sugar it's got. If it's less than 15, it's good. The most Gatorade has 60 grams of sugar. That's like, if I put this in water, it's this much sugar.
Wow.
That's not good for you.
No.
So I like to explain to everybody one thing. So when you have a vessel, this is a vessel right here.
Yeah.
And you have cholesterol. Cholesterol is going to be this thing right here. Okay. So this is like, it's going to stop the vein right there. In order for cholesterol to affect you, you have to have something sticky.
Right.
That sticky is sugar. That's high triglycerides. So you can have a high LDL and you have low triglycerides. That LDL is not going to clot that artery or vessel. But
right.
If you have a high triglycerides, you got a lot of sugars, it's going to stick. And so you have more prone to have a heart attack.
I mean, we don't know this. You know, this is something that, like, remember, most of us grow up eating bad foods and more processed foods. It seems like the brighter boxes in the supermarket are the worst food, and everything is filled with carb. You know, with we don't grow our own food. I mean, for the most part, food, just feeding the kids is a big pillar for off school grounds. But how do you survive in a food desert? You know, like a city in the Bronx where the only thing you got is a bodega where you can get a chopped cheese. You know, that's what's happening.
Yeah, well, one of the main things is try to get everything as fresh as possible. If you have vegetables, eat as much vegetables as you can.
Right.
Limit your breads, your whole grains, and try not to buy processed, but it's hard to do. But all the fast food products, the Doritos and everything, they're mostly all processed foods.
Yeah.
We recommend that we have a list that's like your processed foods at least 1 to 3 times a week, and fruits and vegetables 4 to 5 times, and and proteins at least one with each meal.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's stop for a second. Wow. Hold on. Wow. The doctor just gave you a roadmap to survive, and I want you to understand this. This is a transformational conference, straight leaders, and the doctors. He said, and I'm gonna repeat him. He said, once or twice a week, processed.
Yes, processed. You can have some chips or
right,
and like in that category.
3 to 4 at least times a week, fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
And then, what about the rest of the week? We starve on the rest of the week? What we doing? That's most. I ain't counting the. I'm not a doctor, but the days ain't adding up. What we doing other days?
At least 2 or 3 grams of protein with each meal, depending on your body weight, and carbs.
Healthy carbs. What's a healthy carb?
Any carb that would be low glycemic index.
Okay.
And then on glycemic index, I like to teach that because you can look it up. And one of the main things is if I give you a bowl of white rice, and a bowl of brown rice, and a lot of people say which one makes more sugar? Probably the brown rice. The white rice does.
When did sugar become the bad guy? When did it become the bad guy?
Well, it's all genetics, and then like I'm Latino and American Indian, and so like we didn't have sugar. Sugar was brought from from England, and from Spain, and when they brought it over here, our genetics just didn't mix with it.
Right.
And then that's when we got diabetes. And I know I have friends that they can eat a whole honey bun, a bowl of ice cream. Their sugar is great.
Right.
Their body can process sugar, but my body can't.
Well, look at the question. People are coming in. They loving it. Glaze MC, good to see you, brother. Much love to you. I mean, this is what's killing us. I mean, listen. I mean, I was at my doctor. He gave me, I'm thinking I'm gonna water and vegan out this diabetes. But he wants to give me medication. We're afraid of the medication because we're afraid of the side effects. I mean, guys like you, your companies like yours, your job is to go in and make sure we get the safest medication with the least amount of side effects. How tough is it from your space to run a company based on those parameters?
Well, based on those parameters, there's other inclusion and exclusion criteria. And there's also a person that's doing a medication, like let's say for weight loss.
Right.
If he's got some other kind of disease like Crohn's or ulcerative colitis or something else, or pancreatitis in the past.
Yes.
That might be a false positive that, this medication did me something wrong, but it was actually something else that he already had lingering.
I think it's always lingering from our position because we don't. We don't take care of ourselves.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we don't know any better. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, like I didn't listen. I grew up in the hood. I've eaten 4 wings fried rice. You know what I'm saying? It's like
that was me too.
Yeah. I don't know any better. I'm pretty much crazy. But hey, Dr. D Nice Beaujolin, I want to bring you in. I want, if you're around, I'm going to try to put you on speakerphone because I'm not connected into my system. But anytime I have a medical conversation, I have my local country doctor, Dr. D Nice Beaujolin. Let's see if I can find her. See if you're around, Doc. Hey, Dr. D Nice, I got some doctors out here with you. I got you double teamed. I got 2-to-1 doctors over here.
I see. my OSG t-shirt hoodie on my way about to board the flight to Japan.
Are you on your way to Japan now?
Yeah, our flight delayed in about.
I'm gonna ask you one question. I don't want you to stay on the phone. I know you got the family. How important is it to have these doctors go ahead of you in medical research to bring you the drugs that you need to sort of keep your local population healthy?
Well, it's absolutely important because the truth is, yes, even though lifestyle helps people, can help even cure some diseases, unfortunately, people still have, like the other doctor, apologize for not knowing his name. There are genetic issues where, lifestyle alone cannot fix everything. And we still need medications to help. And also on top of that, there's some people that are just not ready to accept the change of life. It's interesting if you've been doing a certain thing the same way all the time, eating a certain way, for me to come in and tell them, hey, you're going to have to just start eating vegetables or start exercising. If that's not something you're used to, you're not going to start doing it immediately. We need those medications to help. I guess it's diabetes. We need medications to help correct the blood sugar while the person go ahead and change their lifestyle. So it's really great to have these doctors in.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. These guys listen, first of all, they're doing great work over at Pioneer. Trust me. And because we need somebody on our team. Listen, for me, the pharmaceutical companies are a quagmire. I have no idea what's going on. Merck, Pfizer, all these big tech companies, they might as well be the NRA or American Tobacco. I don't even know anything about it. So we need kind of people on our side to go in and vet this and to have the consciousness to make sure that we're getting safe medication, because really, how would we know?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's always good to have people that you trust when you're doing something, or people that are trustable. People that you trust and people that are trustable.
Right. Well, listen, Doc, I know you and your family going to Japan. I'm on my staycation, so but I'm still working on my staycation at the OSG leadership. I'll be back in the morning. We're gonna turn it back on. And by the way, you sound very doctorish this morning. You're not the normal Dr. D Knight.
Well, you know what? I'm around a lot of people too. I don't want to be too loud. But
Yeah.
Me a doctor question. Now you can ask me about what's going on in pop culture. I'll break it down.
All right, love you, Dr. D Nice. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your trip, Dr. D Nice, Bojan. Oh man. All right, well, that's my for the show. She comes on. That's our OSG doctor. Okay. She's out in North Carolina, country doctor, takes care of a large community. So you guys know what that's about. You'll deal with that. So we, man, listen. What's coming down the pipe that's going to help our population? I mean, as a man of a certain age, I ain't trying to go nowhere. What's going to come down the pipe to help? But what kind of medicines are going to go to help us?
So right now, what's coming down is there's a new form of actions called JAK2 inhibitors, and all those types of medications, they're doing really good for inflammation. Some people for eczema. There's people that haven't had an eczema that can't get out. It's working well. Also for any type of inflammation, rheumatoid arthritis is working awesome. The other place it's working is the GI tract. A lot of people have ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, Cushing's, and they've always had problems with inflammation or IBS, and it's working great.
I got a lot of people I know with Crohn's and colitis and stuff like that. Yeah,
they're limited to what lifestyle they can have. They can't travel. They can go somewhere what.
Right.
And now with that new medication, it's a whole new thing. It's like,
wow.
It's like you were limited just to go here, and now you can go anywhere. You can travel and do more stuff.
This is your Uncle Lace and Raw Perspective Morning Email. Shout out to my OSG family. Shout out to my MOP First family. We are here. We're talking to Pioneer Medical. These guys are out here doing some great work. So many different transformational things are happening over here at Columbia University Teachers College. So if you haven't checked in, this is where we give you kind of updates. We've had great interviews all for the last 2 days. Shout out to Damien Dash, shout out to Freeway, shout out to Earn Your Leisure, which just left. Those guys are great. Did you see them at all? Those guys are amazing.
Yeah, they were here during the conference.
Yeah. Earn Your Leisure. We got Ralph McDaniels in the house. And we're talking something that we don't like to talk about, which is health and medicine and why it's important, and the fact that we should learn more so that when we're taking the medication, we're not just going, doctor, fix me. We have some sort of understanding. Do you see this as a curriculum in schools?
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the things that we were discussing as, this is a great opportunity for, like, when we went to med school, we didn't have an opportunity to learn the proper way research was done and how these medications were invented. We were taught these are the medications, use them.
Right.
So in our curriculum, and a lot of, I think, medical education curriculums, or even, residency, when they get exposure in the hospital, because hospitals do research as well, but they never get that curriculum where it's a structured formulation of how, it advances medicine and how it's actually done and how these medication side effects profiles were collected. Yeah. So, I think there is a good way to, have this as a teachable aspect as well, as a part of a curriculum, even for,
especially for young
schools.
Kids, especially
for young kids to understand, because medicine's always going to be around. As long as, there are humans, there's going to be medicines that have to control our ailments, diseases, whichever, ones they are.
Well, like I said, this has been another amazing episode. We're coming through all day. You never know who we're going to bring up. And just stay tuned. I'll pop in and out today. Shout out to Twitter, Twitch, and all the other channels that are zooming in that we don't see, but thank you very much. I appreciate you and all of the comments and everything. We'll be back in a little while after lunch. We got Ralph McDaniel. Thank you. He came earlier. My son's in the building, and we'll just keep the day going. Thank you for your boy Unk's in the building. Let's keep it going. I'll see you guys later on. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in.
Thank you.
That was great. That was great, man. Wow. Crazy. It's crazy today. It's crazy. Wow.